Of all the great athletic programs at the University of Indianapolis, the volleyball tradition takes a backseat to no one. But a couple of years of rebuilding have led to a younger roster with a cool dose of experience that we'll tell you about on this year's team. They're getting ready to start conference play, and we'll talk about it with a couple of key players, not to mention head coach Jason Reed here on the UIndy Xperience. Coach, it is good to see you, and we talked to you right as you get ready to start conference play. So what has non-conference action taught you about your team so far?
Well, I think we're pretty good. The record 4-4 may not indicate that, but the first weekend we went up to Hillsdale and saw some really strong competition, and the losses that we took were to teams that are doing pretty well. Only 3 losses between the 3 teams that we lost to that first weekend, and then we're showing some growth into our home weekend where we went 3-1 and really kind of took it to a Grand Valley team that's going to be pretty good. So we learned that our defense is pretty strong. We still have some youth that we're kind of, a little up and down on the roller coaster, but it's getting better each day, and that's kind of been the mission all season so far.
Well, I know in talking with you before we started this interview, 17 players on the roster, 12 are freshmen and sophomores. That kind of youth can age you, but it also kind of gives you hope for the future. But I also know you want to be good right now. You really like your talent on this team.
Yeah, we've got a really good group, and I think that if we continue to preach about getting better each day, we have and we will. And our young kids are good. I mean, they're really doing a nice job, and there's been way more positive than negative. And when we do have something that's negative, they've been really open to the coaching, they've been receptive, and they're making changes. So you can't teach the experience. We've got to kind of live through some of that, but along the way, they're really making some nice improvements.
Who has stepped up from a leadership standpoint, knowing that's key in every season, but especially when you have such a young group?
Yeah, definitely our captains. We have Katie Voles, Tegan Flaws, and Alexis Waugh. And they've really done an exceptional job with their leadership, and so we have a senior, a junior, and a grad student. And so they've kind of been around the block a little while, and they've done a really nice job in developing relationships with the girls, and they've figured out a way to kind of say, hey, you're not doing your job. And they don't take it personally, and that's a really big piece of our puzzle. And so they've led us really, really well so far in the young season.
So in terms of home matches, you've got such a unique and great atmosphere over at Ruth Lilly.
Yeah.
For those that have never seen you guys play at home before, what's match day like?
Hot. Yeah, so if you've not been into Ruth Lilly, it's in the dungeon, and the fans are kind of over in top of you, and it's loud, and there's not a ton of air moving, and so we practice in there every day, and we're kind of used to it, and we don't mind it, but it's really a pretty fun environment. We can hear just about everything, and from what I understand, the fans can hear everything our girls say, so we try to watch our tongues a little, but it's a really fun, fast-paced environment. And we really like playing there.
All right, Jason, what's going to make this a successful season for you?
Well, we'd like to get back into the NCAA tournament.
Sure.
And despite our youth, I really believe that we have a group to get into the NCAA tournament. It's been 2 years since we've been there. And I'm not going to let youth be an excuse for us. A couple of weeks ago, I kind of told them that it'll either become your obstacle or your story. And I think that's going to be our story. We're young, but we're good. And we're going to keep getting better each day. And we want to get back into the NCAA tournament, and that's definitely a goal for us.
Jason, best of luck, and thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Every athlete has a cool story. Yours is very unique. You were actually out working in the real world for the last couple of 3 years. Tell us about kind of your journey to get to this point.
Okay, yeah. So actually I graduated. I got my undergrad from Hillsdale College in 2015, and then I got my job with PepsiCo. They relocated me to Evansville, Indiana, which I was there for a year as a sales rep. Transferred back to Indianapolis about a year ago, and was a sales rep for another 6 months, and then I became a merchandiser supervisor for them.
Yep.
And I kind of took on a management role there, and then I had 1 year of eligibility left and decided to come back and get my master's, and yeah.
So now will you go back to working for PepsiCo when you're done here?
So that's definitely an option. They told me, obviously, they would love to have me back, but actually I would like to get out of retail and find something else that I'm interested in, which is why I'm in the 1 year full-time MBA.
Yep.
So I'll just be out for about a year and then be able to get back in there and hopefully do something that's more related to marketing, which is what my undergrad was in.
All right, not many folks kind of have a second chance, a couple, 3 years removed from being a student athlete. What has it been like being back on the court?
Oh, it's crazy. It's so much fun. I think I definitely took for granted the time that I did have at Hillsdale College sometimes, because when you play volleyball, since you were 9 years old and you play all year round, you kind of take it for granted and you don't get to appreciate the little things. But I really haven't touched a ball besides I coached a 4th grade boys volleyball team this past fall.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't played in any leagues or anything, so it was so nice to be out there and compete and be a part of a team again like that.
All right, do you feel like a senior, a freshman, or both?
A little bit of both. I don't know anyone on campus besides the girls, so that part is kind of feel like a freshman. But no, I definitely feel like I'm embracing the leadership role that the girls have kind of allowed me to be, and I really enjoy that part of it. And I've been around the block, so I think there's a lot of mental situations that I can handle a little bit better than maybe some of the younger girls, just because I've been through it all before.
And does it help because you are coming to a program that has such a young roster this year? I would think that your role would be important on any team, but especially on this one.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I definitely think they kind of gravitate towards me, and I'm learning a ton from them as well. You know, I really appreciate their feedback, and I really appreciate learning all their types of personalities, because it's not easy to be a leader and it's not easy to influence all kinds of different personalities all the time. But I'm definitely learning a lot from them, and hopefully they're learning a lot from me too.
All right, you're young, so you can say swag. I'm old, I can't. So I'll go with something like, say, tradition, which is something this program.
Yeah.
Again, you use swag, you're fine. I have to say tradition. There is a great tradition here at this program. What does it mean to you and kind of this generation of players to try to uphold that and get back to it?
I think we the past 3 years I've been here, my freshman and sophomore year, I think we lost sight of what that tradition was. Just that ruthless competitiveness, like we are going to win, we are UIndy, we're Greyhound volleyball, we're going to get those wins. I think we're really finding our way back. Courtney Crawford, she's our GA this year. She played when they did really well. So it's a fresh perspective to see someone who's actually on that team, and she was able to tell us, you know, the challenges they went through and how it's the same group of girls, attitude-wise, skill-wise. We just got to find that cohesiveness and then power through, get those wins.
All right, what's it like having kind of an additional assistant coach? We had a chance to talk to Alexis earlier. Have somebody that's been kind of in the working world for a couple of years and now suddenly come back to play for one final year. What's it been like welcoming her in as a teammate?
At first, it was weird. We were kind of like, what's going on? Like, you're 25 years old. I've never played with someone that old. She brings maturity to our team for sure. It's hard to explain, but I love her. It's a great, it's a different situation, but It's been great. Like, we're really getting along really well. I mean, we have 18-year-olds up to 24. She's about to turn 25. So I love her though, and I'm glad to play with her. Like, it's been a great experience.
All right, how are things going for you in the classroom?
Great.
All right, what's your major?
I am public health.
Yep, and what are you hoping to do with that a few years down the road?
Not really sure. When I came here, I was public health pre-OT because I thought I wanted to be an occupational therapist. And then after my first year of classes, I found that I loved my public health classes. Yeah. So I was like, and my grandma, she was into public health too, so I talked to her, and so I decided to just focus strictly on public health. I have a minor in gender studies, so I'm hoping to do something with minority health disparities, something like that. Not really sure yet.
But it's a nice blend of things from a student-athlete perspective. It sounds like you're getting a very well-rounded experience here at UIndy.
Yeah, I love it here. I really do.
Can't end an interview any better than that right there.
Forever Greyhounds, we're for you. Go!